The Disciple of Varashta is a build-your-own summoner ascendancy class that can
just listen to that one more time.
Disciple of Varashta is a build-your-own summoner ascendancy class that can summon up to
well, I just want to point out, we were in the middle of watching the Game Awards with Twitch drops for PoE 2 and gifting a sub for Bear MTX. So everyone thought we were going to get some announcement in the TGA from PoE. There was nothing! There was nothing! And whilst we were watching that, GGG drops endgame content footage for the Druid and some more information, and just shadow drops an entire Ascendancy that seems to be minion related. I'm like, okay. So we're gonna go through it.
Well, today we've created a handful of builds that might help you out in the Fresh League, or inspire you to come up with something even crazier. This Shaman uses the Advancing Storm support and ground debuffs to make his tornadoes into whirlwinds of elemental destruction. Tornado sucks up any elemental ground surface it encounters, empowering the tornado
this
with
looks
those
crazy
effects
cool
and extra damage.
I've said it before, I really want to play a caster druid when I'm done with the minion stuff. I really want to play a caster druid, and this looks so cool.
To create these surfaces, the ferocious wolf form can easily freeze enemies, which allows us to create chilled ground with this support. We've also got a curse setup
a lot of area
that creates
coverage.
burning ground,
The
and
visual
unique
clears
boots
the
that drop
adios,
shocked
yeah.
ground. We've also made use of some of the more powerful effects.
Bonded, we had it before the TGA. So me, Lolash, and Kriparian was on the Discord talking about this. And we haven't seen any of the runes or idols having bonded modifiers that was outside of the weapon. This is a body armor one that says body armor storm skills at +1 to limit.
From the Shaman's Wisdom of the Magi node. The Idol of Maxarius increases our storm limit for maximum ruckus. If tornadoes aren't your thing, maybe this fire-breathing wyvern can bring the heat you're after.
As DM
Normally,
right
the
there,
wyvern's
boys.
flame breath would be used as an ultimate type ability. But naturally, you might want to see how much further you can take it. Can we turn this into a clearing skill? Flame breath is a skill that burns rage.
She almost died there.
So if we get enough of it, we can keep aloft out of pure spite. To help us generate this rage, we are making use of the new buff gem, Eternal Rage. This generates...
But when you're in the air, you can't regenerate rage. But this is a 100 spirit estimation to regen 5 rage per second.
generates 5 rage per second.
100 spirit, though.
We're
That's
also
a lot.
using the Keystone Primal.
Primal Hunger, 100% more maximum rage. Regen 1 rage per second per 4 rage spent recently. But no rage effects.
Hunger that regenerates 1
So it
rage
just
per
makes it a
second
big
per 4
resource
rage we've
pool
spent
for the
recently,
wyvern stuff, for
as
example.
well as giving us 100% more maximum rage. Rage.
Regen disables rage loss, yes.
We can
Or the
also
rage
grab
decay, rather.
all of the Ignite and Rage nodes conveniently in the Druid area of the tree. Now our Ignites burn much hotter as well. With all this together, we simply take to the sky and reenact Rain of Fire. Of course, we can't just fly around forever. There will be some necessary downtime between flights.
That's a lot of seconds in
Fortunately,
the air,
we've
not
got
gonna
a
lie.
gullet full of oil and fresh hot magma to ignite it. After the announcement last week, the green thumbs amongst us got pretty excited at the idea of watering their plants. We've got you
Plan
covered.
through it, log in.
This next build automates a whole garden using spell totems. At the root of this build is the Wild Surge Incantation Keystone, which
Storm and plant spells deals 50% more damage, costs 50% less, but have less duration. So this is like the kind of thing that really resonates with me when it comes to non-minion gameplay, because I really want to make a caster druid. And I kind of like the plant thing. I would love to do this.
makes all storm and plant spells deal more damage and cost less
Dude, there are so many keystones. Have you noticed? They're fucking everywhere.
resources, at the cost of losing a lot of their duration.
Why do they have 60 weapon set points? Is that the Oracle?
But because we're automating this, duration isn't a huge concern.
Or
This
dead
build
build.
makes use of the new unique Falls Protector to ensure that we've
That's
always
smart.
got plenty of power charges to summon our totems. After we generate
blue
our
lion
initial
tree.
charges, our totems
Could be.
will be able to self-sustain their cost. So, if we put Entangle on a spell totem, it can build a garden for us. All we have to do is water it with a gentle little thunderstorm. One of our support gems also appreciates this downpour. Accelerated growth triggers an explosion once it's been overgrown, blinding enemies it hits. For tougher rares and bosses, you'd probably want to throw in some thrashing vines to ensure a true plantastrophe, bodily botany, chlorophyll overkill. But maybe you're not into gardens and more into tearing them up with an army of dog friends. This Wolfpack build is a good place to start. In order to support an army of minions, you can take the Lord of the Wild's keystone to allow you to use.
We heard about this for the interview with Talkative Try and Jonathan. There's 50% less spirit, but there's another downside, which is non-minion skills have 50% less reservation efficiency, which means they're going to cost more.
Use a scepter alongside your animal talisman. This will buff your minions and provide a respectable pack of 8 wolf friends. But we can get this number even higher. As we pounce around the map, our damage is enough to shred our foes and attract more wolves to the pack. But what's the point of this build if we're not howling? Lunar Assault helps us clear and freeze enemies and buff our wolves for even more damage. This build also makes use of Rage in a few ways. Notably, it uses Commanding Rage.
Before someone says it and looks stupid in the chat, it won't work with Primal Hunger because that's going to make the Rage not give you anything. Just want to point that out before once someone says something stupid in the chat. Okay? Rage is 30 max. Font of Rage is disabled according to the patch notes. 30 max is baseline. Shaman offers you more Rage nodes. I'm sure there are nodes in the tree that give you more Rage as well. This is 1% minion attack speed and 1% minion damage per Rage. It's not bad. Now the question is, will the Shaman utilize this and be competitive to something like the Tactician? I don't know. Tactician will give you the 25% of the main or the talisman weapon to them. Shaman gives Rage. Will Shaman's Rage be able to combat it? I'm not sure. But it's an option. Here's a very interesting question with this. We just saw Primal Hunger. It says your Rage doesn't give any bonuses, Garlic. It wouldn't work. These are bonuses to you that applies to minions, or affects minions. Here's the thing. Let's say you can get 30 Rage. Ignoring Rage caps. You can give your minions 30% damage and 30% APS. That's a lot. That's a lot. You get like 30% from a level 20, or baseline 20, is a little higher. Paid offering. And about 70 to 80% increased damage. This makes it so that Rage that you have provides you with a modifier bonus to you that is a minion modifier that affects the minions. Very important to keep in mind. You have Rage that gives you increased attack damage. Now that Rage also gives you minion attack speed and minion damage, which is a two modifiers that affects your minions. This doesn't mean that the minions can't have Rage as well. Now, they're not going to double dip on this, but they're going to get the more attack damage. So you could have this and give them the Rage. They won't get the cap, but you can get them to 30 Rage. So we can have the Warlord node as well. So we can have Rage that benefits our minions, and then we can give that Rage to our minions as well. This is very exciting.
To make your Rage affect your wolves. Rage also extends the duration of Lunar Blessing, a skill that gives the entire pack more cold damage and creates destructive moonbeams each time we hit. Lastly, let's warm things back up with the Demon Bear. Here, we're using Fury of the King to transform into a burning monstrosity. With this, we can open molten fissures everywhere we jump. Once opened, we've got a few options.
Druid has bonded rune that gives +1 idle slot. What?
To make them erupt again and again.
Where do you see that?
We could use a Shockwave Totem, which repeatedly blasts the ground. And of course, we're still a bear, so we can rampage around, triggering the fissures over and over.
Dude, the Demon Bear looks
to
crazy
capitalize
cool.
on this, we're going to want to extend our rampage as long as we can. Once we are as angry as we can be, our rampage can last around 20 seconds. That's a lot of pounding. Just like the Wyvern build from earlier, we're going
Primal Hunger, no Rage effects. Even with the other node, no Rage effects.
to make use of the Primal Hunger
This just
Keystone
makes
and
it
the
a
Eternal
resource.
Rage buff gem.
Exclusively a resource, rather.
That's how the build plays, but to me the best part of this build is the Oracle Ascendancy. Look at this passive tree, it's just as cooked as our bear. We've done something very fun here.
That's a lot of notes.
Grabbing as many keystones as possible and using them to take some of the bigger nodes without the lead-ups. We've taken Resolute Technique, so we don't crit,
Yeah.
which allows us to take Pain Attunement,
Yeah.
so we don't see the upside or the downside. There's more going on, but we'll let you figure it out for yourself. As you can see, the Druid offers a lot of options. Whether you're tearing through maps with storms, scorching everything from the sky, unleashing botanical devastation, leading a loyal wolf back, or rampaging across Raycast as a spicy bear, there's a build here for every kind of primal playstyle. These are just a handful of ideas to get you started. The last of the Druids launches on 11 AM December 12th PST. We can't wait to see what you come up with.
Dude, I am actually genuinely excited for Wolf stuff seeing this. However, there's a fucking new Ascendancy as well. In the last of the Druids called it up to we're adding the third Ascendancy class for the Sorceress, a disciple of Varashta. Now, I do have a little comment. Hold on. Can I share this from GGG? I was told by someone I'm not going to throw under the bus, a little birdie told me that apparently this class was not going to make it in. But apparently they pulled it off for the last minute and they decided to throw it in for the launch anyways. That's what the birdie told me, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's watch this.
I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. In the last of the Druids update, we're adding another Ascendancy class for the Sorceress that didn't quite make it into the livestream. The Disciple of Varashta. Varashta, a once great leader of the Maraketh, to this day has Jinn under her command within the Trial of the Sycamores. If you, Sorceress, prove yourself worthy, Varashta may just release these Jinn into your service.
Which room in the Sekama is this? Oh, the chest is over here. Okay. Does that mean you can only transition to this if you do that? Or is it open for everyone? I don't know. I'm assuming it's not hidden because people were talking about... What did he say?
Under her command within the Trial of the Sycamores. If you, Sorceress, prove yourself worthy, Varashta may just release these Jinn into your service.
It's yeah, this looks cool as fuck. It sounds like it's like something that needs to be done, right? But at the same time, they wouldn't announce a hidden ascendancy that requires other things than just doing it. It just sounds like it's just for the video. Because people kept telling me when it was first announced that, oh, it's a hidden one, GHAZZY. It's so cool. You have to do this and this and this. I'm like, bro, it sounds like a normal freaking ascendancy to me. It's just flavoring, yeah.
Into your
Let's
service.
watch the video.
The Disciple of Varashta is a build-your-own summoner ascendancy class that can
Look, just.
that can summon up to Ruzan, the Blazing Sword, a formidable fire djinn. Kalari, the Tainted Sands, an assassin djinn. And Navira, the Last Mirage, a gift.
It looks like he's summoning these minions, but they're not up here. Is this like us getting baited? So it's like Lost Ark Summoner. It's Summoner, but not really Summoner. Along with the raid, appreciate you, man. Thank you, dude.
Water djinn. These djinn are bound to their barrier and will only emerge to do your bidding when commanded to do so.
What?
Each djinn comes with one command skill right away, but you can spec into up to 3 more skills for each of them to suit your preferences. For example, you might want to be a pure minion build, with Ruzan and Kalari fully unlocked and dishing out destruction. Or instead, you could be a more traditional caster that uses Navira for mana and energy shield recovery.
Explain to me how this was pure summoner. I don't see the
Example.
minions.
You might
Outside of me just telling them to do their abilities, that sounds like I'm doing a spell damage with extra steps.
want to be a pure minion build, with Ruzan and Kalari fully unlocked and dishing out destruction.
Wait, am I getting baited?
Or instead, you could be a more traditional caster that uses Navera for mana and energy shield recovery. Or Kalari to make it easy.
Hey, guys, do I have this information in this? Yes? All right, we're just going to keep
for
playing
you
the
to
video.
critically hit your enemies. So,
cool.
as you can see, commanding these powerful gen gives you a lot of firepower and utility. But, will you be worthy enough of Varashta to accept you as her chosen disciple? Thanks for watching, and see you all at launch.
Huh?
These gen are bound to their barrier, and will only emerge to do your bidding when commanded to do so.
Just when you're commanded to do so. That it looks really cool. I like the idea of it, but to me, this does not sound like a summoner. To me, this sounds like Lost Ark Summoner, which was a shit excuse for a summoner. It's like, I'm casting a spell, but it's a minion that emerges and deals the spell's damage. That's why I don't like the command abilities, because commanding a minion builds are just caster builds with extra steps. That's not a summoner. So I don't approve of it being called a summoner, personally. That's just my initial take so far. What do we have here? We start here. Okay, 2-pointer. Rushan the Blazing Sword. Summon Rushan. It's a minion tagged, persistent, command fire. Invulnerable flame djinn minion to do your bidding. Rushan emerges to strike enemies with his greatsword whenever you use a damaging skill. And cast devastating fire spells when commanded to do so. So essentially, every time you attack, he will also attack. Deals 10% more damage for each damaging skill you've used recently. Attacks with Rushan's Zealotry when you use a damaging skill with a 4-second cooldown, inflicting enemies struck with exposure. Whenever I use a damaging skill. And if I use a damaging skill with a 4-second cooldown, it inflict enemies struck with exposure. Rushan's Trap. Command ability. Command Rushan to hurl his greatsword, spreading hazardous runes on the ground where it lands. If an enemy steps on the rune, it erupts with a fiery tornado to deal spell damage. Rushan's Fury. AoE projectile fire. Command Rushan to conjure 2 volleys of flaming embers and then fire them forward. The ember explode on him by dealing spell damage. I'm not sold on this so far. Rushan's Reckoning. AoE fire. Command Rushan to... I will say, it looks really cool. It's just... From a summoner perspective, no. But I mean, for a non-summoner, this can look pretty fucking cool. I might actually play it. But not as a starter. So far, we'll see. Command Rushan to teleport to the target location. Upon arrival, the Djinn deals spell damage to enemies around him, then slams his blazing sword into the ground, creating a wave of lava that also deals spell damage. Well, that's not a summoner. Okay, next. You have Navira, the Last Mirage. Minion tag. Assisted command cold. This is the cold version. It's a commander. So, again, so far this all screams it's Lost Ark Summoner's approach. I don't approve or agree that this is considered a summoner. Because to me, same thing with this command abilities for the skeletal builds and whatnot. They're just spell builds with extra steps. And then the idea of it being a summoner and their minion tags is a flavor thing. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying it isn't cool, because it looked freaking amazing. It really did. I might actually play this personally. I'm just saying that from a minion perspective, it's as far away from a fucking summoner as you can get. That's all I'm saying. And that's not necessarily bad. I just don't approve of it being a summoner. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of summon. Summon Navira, an invulnerable water Jinn minion, to do your bidding. Navira will only act when you command her to do so, bestowing restorative blessings upon you and your allies with her spells. Mana region. And we can specialize her. Command Navira to fracture all nearby areas of chilled ground that have enemies standing on them, doing high spell damage with extreme freeze potential. Extreme freeze potential. Pretty sick numbers, though. Why? What's the other one? Navira as well. Duration. Command ability. Command Navira to bolster your energy shield, causing it to begin recharging immediately, granting you increased energy shield recharge rate for a duration. So we have Vaal Discipline in the form of a command skill. Well, everybody wanted an energy shield to be buffed, right? Navira's Oasis. Command Navira to turn nearby chilled ground into Navira's Oasis, a mirage which grants you and ally standing in it flash charges and damage recoup his life and mana. Plants in that area become overgrown, so it's drenching them. Assuming it drenches enemies. Oasis courage, chilled ground. Oasis 50% damage you can recoup. 32% damage. Numbers are pretty wild though. Does not drench enemies. 8-second cooldown. 12-second cooldown. 12-second cooldown for a Vaal energy shield? Okay, that's kind of cracked. Bro, Vaal energy shield with a 12-second cooldown is cracked, dude. Okay. Then we have Killari's Malediction. Minion persistent command duration. Harness Killari's power to passively consume corpses in your presence, causing corpse beetle minions to burst forth. Now we're talking. The beetles passively follow you until commanded. On your command, they rush to the target and explode. Bro, they had me at the first half, dude. They had me at the first half. Fuck me. 0.9 second duration between corpse consumption, max of 8. 0.9? Max of 8 corpse beetles. Summon 2 beetles per second. Okay, 2 per corpse. But okay. That's not too bad. Plus maximum, okay, from quality. Killari's Judgment. AoE Fist Channeling. Channel and command Killari's to channel alongside you. Creating blade that hang over the target location. The longer you channel, the more blades Killari will create. Upon release, these blades plunge into the ground and create shockwave that deals spell damage. Stun build up. Shockwave length, inflict 4 additional critical weakness on hits. 4 damage with hits per each stage. Is like a physical version of Flame Blast, which we can already have through Bone Storm, I guess, but okay. Killari's Deception. Command Killari to create a blast at target location that deals spell damage and leave behind a clone that persists for a short duration. Thanks so much for the $5 dice sanity. Instantly appreciate you, man. Command. So no actual minion. Okay, I'm good then. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but no, it's a summoner now. Deal spell damage and leave behind a clone that persists for a short duration. This skill can store multiple charges, so using it again while a clone from a previous use is still active causes that clone to explode, dealing even more damage. It sounds like really cool abilities, not gonna lie, but summoner? Killari, the Tainted Sad. Summon Killari, the vulnerable Sad Jinn minion to do your bidding. Killari will only act when you command him, so Killari delivers swift hits with massive critical hit potential. Wait, oh, so that's the base. I read the skill first. My bad, this is the base one, Killari. Killari delivers swift hits with massive critical hit potential when commanded. Oh, here's the non-Killari. It's like Jinn stuff. 100% of elemental damage taken from mana before life is, in my opinion, just as irrelevant as the hit damage taken from mana before life from the Oracle. I'm sure there are ways to play around it though, but at first glance, they're like, eh. Fourth teaching, -1 second to base energy shield recharge delay. 40% more energy shield recharge rate while on low energy shield. Wait, hold up a minute now. It says -1 second to base initial recharge. That means -1 second faster recharge, right? That's what they're actually saying, because that's what I'm reading right now. And then a 12-second Vaal disc node. Sacred Ritual, 60% of your current energy shield is added to your armor for determining your physical damage reduction from armor. This is not a summoner. This is a fucking tank. And I don't mean like a tank in an MMO game, like, oh, let's play a dungeon in World of Warcraft, let's call it the Warrior. No, they literally make a phone call to World of Tanks and brings in a fucking real, actual tank into the game. That's what this is. What the fuck, dude? Instruments of power, you can equip a focus while wielding a staff. 50% reduced bonuses equipped from the equipped focus. Non-unique time loss jewels have 40% increased radius. This is a caster build, dude. This is a caster tank, man. Why would you care about these? Like, you probably run something like Kalari, ES stuff. Maybe you can live without Sacred, but ES stuff, you definitely want to use these two. You can maybe skip this one. But what the fuck, man? So the thing is with the Varashta's intuition that you could do is... like, there are some stuff with Varashta that you can do that you cannot do with the Oracle that I know of. Like, for example, like Slim sent me a message earlier, like Lightning Coil, Cloak of Flames, and other methods to sort the physical damage portions. And then Varashta's intuition becomes ridiculously insane as well. The hit stuff from the approach of the Oracle, you can't really do that. But this, like, bro... So the more I'm looking at this, the more to me, it just screams the whole idea of, hey, we're just going to not make a summoner out of this. Thematically, it summons a minion that deals the damage. So you're summoning a unit that is a minion tag. And then that minion is casting the spell for you. It is exactly like Lost Ark minions. So I played Lost Ark, and I was like, let me go play a summoner. So I did. And you know what the summoner in Lost Ark is, for those of you who haven't played it? I cast an ability that my minion is doing. The minions, you do nothing unless I use an ability telling my minions to cast that spell for me. I could have might as well just casted the spell myself. But it looks pretty cracked, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is looking pretty cool. But a summoner? Yeah. I don't know about that. But it looks really cool. I'll say that. You're summoning things, but you're just commanding them to aid you in battle, not pilot the horde of minions. The two different styles, both awesome. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. The terminology is not something I would describe the build as. Not even close to it. But it looked really cool. Like, you saw the footage. It looks crazy cool. And the nodes where we looked at them looks really strong as well. So I'm not complaining about any of the class's efficiencies or the showcase of it. I'm just being a petty little bitch here. All right? That's it. I'm just being a petty motherfucker, saying true to the terminology of summoner, being a commander of an army of minions, okay? I'm just being petty. That's it. That's all it comes down to. So this is not like pedantic. Yeah, it's not me giving them criticism, okay? I just care very much about the thematic approach of what a summoner is, and that ain't it, okay? That's it. That's all there is to it. No complaints. It looked crazy cool. It looked really cool. All right, I'm going to talk about my league starter. I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the game up, and then I'm going to win, and then I'm going to log out. We're having a subathon tomorrow. Well, sorry, it's 6 a.m. I'll have a subathon later today. I need sleep. Kikis probably wants this on YouTube, so I'll be able to make a little YouTube video. You guys can hear me yap about my league starter. Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile 2 video, and it is 6 a.m. on the morning of the 0.4 launch, and I'm going to talk about my starter plans. Now, this is the 4th or 5th time I try to record this, and every time before Kikis gets a chance to upload it, there's some new information dropping, and I'm like, I can't even give you a POB. I have no idea. There's still a lot of information missing. However, I will not be playing this for a lot of reasons. It looks really cool, but it sure as fuck ain't no summoner. But it looks really cool. Not gonna play this. Well, actually, I probably will play this later, but I'm not gonna start with it. What I will be starting as is Druid, and I am very much in favor of going with the Shaman. More now than ever. I was leaning a little bit towards Tactician for the Wolves, but here's my plan. And this has been my plan for a long time now. I want to play Wolf minions, and I want to focus on the minion aspect of it. And if that turns out to be shit, I'll just play Spectres. And since they buffed Vaal Guards, I would level with Vaal Guards, and then I would move over to Powered Zealots for endgame. That's the preliminary decision on Spectres. The Witch builds we have, they'll still be playing with these things. We'll level up with the EDC at the start. There's a couple ways you could do it, but EDC is super solid. You'd move over to Cultist Archers as soon as you get access to the Spectre Gem, which is, what, Act 2? End of Act 2. And then in Act 3, we switch to Vaal Guards, and late game, Powered Zealots. We do this on the Witch builds. It's fine. We can do that on the Shaman as well. Should be really, really strong. However, my main priority on my league start is to go Wolf minions. Now, in this footage, they obviously showed this node, which we saw from Jonathan, or not saw, but we heard it from Jonathan's interview together with Talkative Try. Lord of the Wilds, which is allowing you to equip a non-unique scepter whilst wielding a two-handed talisman, so you can wolf form into, well, you can transform into the wolf. However, it gives you 50% less spirits, and non-minion skills have 50% less reservation efficiency, so it costs more. But the question is, am I going to do the wolf form in the late game with this or not? That is something I cannot determine until we actually have access to the skill tree and all the skills, so I can PoB the shit and actually look at the numbers, if it's worth it or not. I'm assuming I'll actually be in wolf form. What they also did, however, is the video playing? Where is the rage node? There it is. This is happening. This is not even a keystone. This is a notable commanding rage. Every rage also grants you, as the player, if you as a player have the rage, increased minion attack speed. Same thing, but for minion damage as well, 1% per. The flat line ceiling for this, without any other external modifiers changing this, is 30. So that's 30% APS, 30% minion damage. Then the minion damage is a little bit on the low end. APS is on the high end. That's actually very strong. Shaman offers you for some maximum rage stuff. And here's the thing. This makes it so that you as a player have minion modifiers that affects your minions because you have rage. What rage also does is giving you 1% more attack damage per rage. Everyone's following me so far? Great. Now we can do this in combination with Warlord Berserker as an example. If I can find the node right there. Now our rage is also granted to allies in your presence. Because you have rage, your minions will get increased attack speed and minion damage. If your minions have rage, they will get more attack damage as well. So not only does the rage you have benefit your minions, but they can also have rage on top of this. So this is something I'll definitely be playing around with. So we can basically just rage. It's a raging wolves. Rage. And some extra rage. So that is something I'll be looking into. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say this is going to be good or that's the greatest thing ever. I have not a slightest fucking clue what I'm talking about. None of us do. I played PoE for 12 years. I cannot tell you if this is going to be good or not. But what I can tell you is that is my league starter plans. I will try my best to see how we can optimize and make a Druid gameplay work with the Wolf minions. And if I am unable to do so, I can very, very easily transition into a Spectre build, which I can tell you right now, that will be a good build. That's why I'll be starting with the Druid. That's my league starter plans for 0.4 and for the Subathon start. Hope you guys will have fun. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment down below what you guys are starting for 0.4, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep rocking.